Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another movie review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing The Equalizer 3 and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this movie to tell in short what this movie is all about. Then I'm gonna share my own opinions and thoughts about this movie, so in case you didn't watch it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah guys, just click away from this video to avoid spoilers and come back after you watch a movie if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally okay. But if you really are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this movie right now, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, The Equalizer 3 is an action movie that's been released this year, and this is a sequel to The Equalizer 2 that I, by the way, watched and reviewed on my channel, so you can check it out anytime if you want to guys. Also, I watched the first movie, but I didn't review it because it came out back in 2014 and back then I didn't have this channel, so... yeah, anyway, story of The Equalizer 3 again follows our main character Robert McCall, that is once again played by Denzel Washington, and movie starts off with a scene of him being in this winery cellar where he kills a bunch of mafia guys because that wine cellar is where they stash the drugs that they sell, and then that money is used to fund the terrorist organizations around the world. So McCall had to get involved once again, and this time he calls the CIA to take the case. And through the entire movie we have the CIA working on that case while McCall is trying to settle down in this peaceful Italian city, and he finally decides to retire and starts to live the normal life away from all that vigilante life that he lived in previous two movies. And he decides finally to have some peace. And when he was leaving that cellar at the beginning of the movie, a kid shoots him in the back. Luckily, he survives and he is rescued by this old man whose name I totally forgot. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's rescued by this old man. And he decides now to stay in this little Italian coastal city. And peace unfortunately doesn't last long because he realizes that there is this Italian mafia called Camorra actually, comes to the city and terrorizes the citizens. They take the money from people who work hard for it, and they do all kind of criminal activities. They even murder some citizens. And McCall, being McCall, once again decides to get involved, and he just can't stand watching things like that and decides to take on the mafia. And that's where we meet the main villain of this movie. His name is Vincent. He's the leader of Camorra Mafia, and he has this younger brother that also has a pretty high function in the mafia. His job is to terrorize the citizens and spread fear because that's how mafia works. And then later he runs into the McCall, and he's younger than his brother, so he's cockier and more arrogant, and that's pretty much what cost him his life and his friends' lives. So McCall murders him, and then Vincent goes and seeks his brother's killer and seeks vengeance on him. So he starts to terrorize again innocent citizens. And McCall steps out and says that he murdered his brother. So now Vincent and McCall are having beef, and they promise to kill each other. And police is still involved in the whole thing. There is a lot of things going on in the background. So yeah, by the end of the movie, he just decides to go on and murder Vincent and put an end to Camorra Mafia. And by the end of the movie, he once again took out the criminal network and murdered a bunch of mafia guys, and now everyone is at peace, and he finally decides to retire, and settle for peace. And the interesting thing is that when he called the CIA, there's this girl that he specifically called and contacted because he wanted her to work on that drug case with the terrorist organization and everything. And that is because that is the daughter of his friend that was murdered in the previous movie. And to give her an honor, he gave her daughter this case to lead, and at the end of the movie he left her a note where he says that her mother would be proud of her. So it was a great finale of the Equalizer trilogy. So this Equalizer movie was the final one in the trilogy, and I'm gonna say it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. Denzel Washington was once again great as the Equalizer. What I love about this movie is definitely his character and the way Denzel plays it. he's so calm. He's an older man who obviously is very mysterious, and he's been working for the CIA. So you never find out what his purpose in CIA exactly was. You don't ever get to know what he exactly did in the CIA, but it's obvious that he was some sort of CIA special operative because he knows how to fight and everything. He's really badass. What I love about him is that he's very calm. He has a lot of wisdom in him. He's very intelligent. He has very wise things to say to these mafia guys before he murders them. He gives them a chance to walk away, and before he goes berserk and murders all of them, he gives them a chance to walk away. Of course, they never listen, so he kills them all, and it is just a lot of fun. So McCall is very interesting and fun character. He's so dark. He always wears dark clothes, and when he kills his targets, he takes time. Also, I like how McCall in every movie, achieves the connection with the people around him in the environment where he finds himself. So he's always nice to people. He always makes friends to the other people. Even though he is a cold-blooded vigilante killer, he still has much humanity in him. He still does understand human needs and emotions, and in one moment you see this cold-blooded vigilante killer, and at the other moment you just see a normal human that tries to help the community and people, and to express their feelings, and he's trying to be the best person for himself and other people around him. And that's why I love him so much. He actually kind of reminds me of myself so much. Even though in this movie we get to see that he's having flashbacks of the things that he did in previous two movies, and it's really hitting on him, and you realize that killing people does leave huge psychological consequences on you, but he's dealing with that pretty well. He is a very sharp-minded and focused man. He's that lone wolf Sigma male who just goes and delivers some justice, and that's what I absolutely loved about the Equalizer trilogy. That's the most fun part of all three movies. It's just the character. You just fall in love with it and just roll with it. What I love about McCall is that he never uses guns. But somehow in the third movie they decided to change that a little bit. There is actually quite a lot of kills that he does with the firearms, but then also again switches back to using objects around the environment. So there is even part in the movie when he uses the furnace siren to stab the guy right through the throat from behind while he's sitting on a chair and watching security cameras, and he just pops up behind him and just fucking murders him that way. So it was very brutal. There is a lot of brutality in this movie. There is a lot of brutal ways that McCall kills his targets, just like in previous two movies, and it's just a lot of fun to watch because these are just pure evil guys, and I really love how they portrayed Italian Gamora. They're so rough, and they do terrible things. There is a scene where they hang a man through the window, and the man was in a wheelchair, so he was very defenseless. They just don't care. They do mafia things, and it's very brutal the way they portrayed mafia, and that's what I loved about that a lot about this movie, because that's like, when you think of it, it's really how mafia is. It's really how Italian Gamora is. They're very soulless, and they just do very cruel things to people. So yeah, it's just pure evil, and it's really satisfying just to watch Denzel Washington go against these guys and just kill them. This is some proper vigilante trilogy. Think of it like a Punisher, but more calm version. Because, like I said, McCall is very calm character, he doesn't go like guns blazing, he infiltrates places slowly, stealthily, just takes them out quietly, nobody knows anything, and like the things he says to these mafia guys is just terrifying, but the way he uses his voice and tone of voice to explain them, like these quotes. There is one specific quote that I remember from the final movie, is that when this younger brother of the mafia boss is threatening McCall not to get involved into his business, because it's bad for him, he answers to him, "Lord knows I'm allergic to bad things." And that just hit me so badly. He just looks him dead in the eye and politely tells him that he's gonna murder all of them. Isn't that so badass? I mean, what else? What else do you want? It's so badass. Just one guy threatening to everyone, and nobody can do shit about that because he's so badass. It's just that one lone wolf mentality that goes against everyone. The movie was just so much fun, and it was great finishing to the Equalizer trilogy. I absolutely loved it. All three movies are fantastic. I think the third movie did lack a little bit of action. I think previous two movies had more action sequences, and they lasted longer. So that's kind of what I wanted to see more in the third movie. What I also kind of dislike about the third movie, the finale of the movie, what kind of happened too quickly. I expected Vincent to put more effort into fighting McCall. I didn't expected him to kill him that quickly. Just like that. I expected some bigger fight scene at the end of a movie and to be more dramatic, but it wasn't. So that kind of wasn't much of my taste. But yeah, I think that was better done in previous two movies. But yeah, despite that, everything else in the movie was really awesome. Like the camera angles are clean. You can see everything that's going on the screen. There's not too much like effects or anything. Everything just feels smooth. It's really good movie to watch if you're like into action vigilante movies. This trilogy is definitely something you have to watch. You're not gonna regret it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this movie review. If you did, then go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally okay. You can also join my Chris Facebook group. I post my videos over there as well, so maybe you can follow me there easier if you're using Facebook more or something. I don't know. Again, if you don't want to, you don't have to do that. It's totally okay. I want to say one big thank you for watching this video. I appreciate all of your support and everything you've done for me and my channel so far. You're amazing, guys. I love you, and I'll definitely see you in the next videos. Chris out.